Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Daily Teachings. Little late video today, guys. So today was the morning was little rough and choppy, but midday was where all the money was. There were definitely some good setups today in the community that we are going to discuss. But before we start, let's do a quick introduction to anybody who's new to me, new to my YouTube, new to our community. All these recaps and all these teachings are either from anything that I share on Twitter, on X, and any idea that I talk about in previous YouTube videos, and mostly it's from our community. We trade in the stock market, repeatable system. System is how you trade. Repeatable system, Ripster EMA Cloud system. We trade a repeatable system and we trade repeatable setup. Setup is what you trade. Thousands of traders across the world use this system to trade consistently. Every morning, me and my team, we make a game plan, and we make a game plan for the day to trade, and we have this game plan. So we have this game plan for today in front of you, which includes earning plays, market plays, upgrades, downgrades, news plays, which has a support level and resistance level. And I do a pre-market planning on our initial plan in the pre-market half hour before the market open, going through each stock, how to trade those, So there are a bunch of plays today, and we will see how that worked out. In addition to this game plan, we also share what we call as our day 2, day 3 setup. This is another setup that I teach you in all my previous YouTube videos. I have done a detailed webinar on this as well. This is a repeatable strategy on our day 2, day 3 setups. We will take a look at some of these plays today as well, like DKNG, day 2 setup. And we provide these levels in the pre-market so you can trade in the stock market. These day 2, day 3 setups and make some consistent trades, have some big winners and small losers to make consistent profits in the market. We also provide levels for the futures trading. Anybody who trades futures in the community, we provide the levels for trading crypto stocks, coin, MSTR, we can recap that. If you followed these setups, these levels today, you did pretty well on the shorts in the community in this crypto setups. We also have a low float channel in the community. We also trade IPOs. We have an IPO list. We provide all that. We have 3 or 4 option scanners, stock scanners, breaking news alerts. We have a bunch of tools which are worth $400, $500 per month, which are included in the community, which are free for everyone. I'm usually on the voice. First few hours of the market open, going through the opening trades, midday trades, or 10 a.m. trades, guiding the traders through the market. I'll show you my timestamped guidance. I cannot show you what I speak on the voice, but I'll definitely show you my timestamped guidance. What was the setup? Was it a winner or loser? Did we make money? Did we lose money? So we discuss all that. So we are going to discuss all that. I'm going to show you that. We have thousands of traders in our community. We have an active trading floor where all day the traders are sharing their trade ideas to find opportunities in the stock market. We do focus mostly on day trades, but we also discuss a lot about swing trades, investment positions, which we are going to launch another service for the long term and swing trading service as well. So we will discuss a lot of repeatable concepts. Make sure you watch the video carefully. You can repeat these setups yourself if you watch my recaps, 1,000+ recaps and shorts, and you can make profits in the market if you learn this setup. So let's start. There is actually a lot to cover today. I'll try to not to go too fast because I do have to cover a lot and we're late on the recap tonight. But let's start with SPY QQQs. Let's look at the market, right? So market, S&P and QQQ, these are the top ETFs that we trade every day. These are the marketplace. This is the overall market. S&P has the 500 largest stocks in America, and then we have our tech stocks, QQQ, the largest, the top 100 Nasdaq stocks. So we trade these every day, and these are market dependent. So everyday market has a personality, and you can trade NASDAQ futures. We also trade NASDAQ futures or ES futures in the community with these setups. Let's look here at NASDAQ futures. You can see that you can trade those NASDAQ futures as well, or you can trade ES futures with these concepts. So every day, at the open, the market will show you, is it a gapping up? Is it flat? What is it showing you? So let's look at SPY. To start with SPY today was, it's trying to break the all-time highs, very low range today. It was very low range. But in the morning, what was happening was SPY was gapping up. You see, this is the gap, this is the close, this is the open, and this is the gap, right? So this is the gap. Same thing for QQQ. This is the gap. So whenever there's a gap, there's a risk of a gap fill. There's a risk of a gap fill. And when market fills the gap, then, I think the gap was not that far. Gap was right here. I'm sorry. So that was the pre-market candle. Okay, so gap was right here. So there's always a risk of the gap fill. Market started to sell off right before the open. And as soon as the market opened, my guidance to the community was to not go long, because it's not just S&P and QQQ. All the magnificent, all the big sevens, we will talk about those short as well. Meta, Netflix, Amazon, Google, Tesla. Tesla was a little less heavy. Apple was choppy. But the main culprits were Meta, Netflix, Amazon, Google. All were heavy. And we had an initial pop on AMD and, AMD and NVDA and all those semiconductors. And those longs did not work, if we were trying to long that. The first move is amateur move, first 10 minutes. Very volatile move. You can, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I have covered it extensively in other videos. But everything was weak right at the open. So my guidance right at the open was both are heavy. Both in the gap fill short, right? So both are gap fill short. So I gave that right at the open, 931, gap fill short for both SPY, QQQ. You see that 610s, and we fill the gap. QQQs, and we fill the gap. So we stayed heavy at 10 a.m. So we have a 10 a.m. concept. Usually we get a bounce at 10 a.m., but we did not. So same you could do with ES futures. ES futures, when I say short in the gap fill, you can trade those ES futures short, right? You can sell those shorts and you can cover here. That was a nice little on ES mini. And you could short the NQ futures as well. And it was a pretty clean setup. You can see the clouds breaking on ES futures, clouds breaking on NASDAQ futures. And we had this small gap to fill, and right were these ES futures and Q futures. So you could trade the options. My guidance is right here, and the levels we provided in the pre-market are right here. We have the SPY QQQ levels, right? You can see that. So it was a gap fill short. It was a morning trade on the gap fill shorts. Yes, we were trying few longs, which did not work, but the market was heavy. We know, right? So market was heavy. Literally, you can gap fill the market. And a lot of traders, some traders were shorting Netflix. You could short the Netflix in the gap fill. And most of the new members should watch this recap, but most of my traders, they know what I'm saying. They're already executing, and they're already being short on these setups, right? Google was MTF cloud breakdown. So there's a gap fill, the things are going to fade. You buy the puts or you short them, and I said gap fill short means you can short individual names as well, right? So the shorts were right till happened till 10:30, and then that's 10:30, 10:40, that's where you kind of close your shorts. But you clearly see that if I want to look at the options on let's look at options on QQQ. Maybe if I want to look at the options on QQQ, let's look at some of the puts expiring tomorrow. If we want to look at let's look at 539s, right? So let's look at 539. So those options on the 539 in the morning from the gap fill, they went from $2 to $3, 340, 80%, 70% gains. And that's not bad, because there was not a lot of range today. This was very tight range. SPY doesn't, you look at this candle. Look at daily candle. And look at these daily candles. And SPY was very tight range today. Definitely you could make money, but it's not crazy. But it was a decent trade to short. You could short Amazon, you could short Google, and you could short Netflix. A lot of traders were short on Netflix, and trade anything. My focus was Meta, which we are going to discuss next. How was the Meta a home run short? So now that you understood that what market was doing, and market was a gap fill in the morning, and you should take this trades right at the open, and make some profits there with stops over the opening candle. So let's look at next one. So next one we're going to look at is Meta. So what was happening in Meta? Okay, let's look at the daily chart here. So Meta, what it was doing was, it's been running for days, up. It was getting too extended. If you look at the weekly candles on Meta, you look what it's doing, right? That's not how a trillion, what's the market cap on Meta? Let's see here. How a $2 trillion stock supposed to move straight up. So eventually we're going to get a pullback. And with the range that Meta has, it trades at 30 ATR, which is huge, right? So it trades at 13 ATR. So eventually, if market was filling the gap, my focus was Meta. All right, let's continue to talk about Meta here. So Meta, I just showed the chart there, but Meta was, since I already talked about market, how heavy market was, but my focus was on Meta. The levels we gave on Meta, every day we have these levels on all these stocks. We had Meta 736, 733. Those were support levels. So once they break down, you can expect it to fade down, because market is weak, and you could use the VIX strategy. Remember, you have to use the VIX strategy, 10M concept, trend concept. There's all those concepts I teach, you have to use it. So I was shouting all that Meta is heavy short. I said it's a number one short with the bearish market. Even if you miss the opening trade, you can short it here with your stops over this candle or stops right here MTF. You will have to use $2 to $3 risk right at the MTF clouds, and you can short it, right? And the target I gave was 718. The next target I was gave 716, 715. Not a single time I told anybody to get out. Not a single time, because you see Ripster clouds never turn. And my final target was 705, and and then it started to give a 512 call. You could trade that long as well, but that was the opportunity today, guys. That was the opportunity on Meta, because let's look at 720 puts. They went from $4, even if you were $5, all the way $15. So there was opportunity to make $3,000. Even if you were risking $1,000, you could make $3,000. These kind of opportunities you should not miss, and because it was an opportunity with bearish market, and you should not buy this, guys. There's no buying. Use the MTF clouds. When 1 hour MTF clouds breaks, you buy the puts, and you understand the market environment, and you trade it. There's no reason to be long, right? There's no reason to be long, and literally the community killed Meta today. Matt could see the MTF breakdown. You see how the community knows the setups, right? Brandon was on top of it, and Mo the cow, Jay made 60%. Murli did really good, So that's how it is. So you need to understand, use the system. When system is bearish, you just hold the puts, and on the bounce you add the puts, or better yet, short the shares. I think we also have what is it? Leverage ETF, MET. What is it? I just Meta leverage ETF. Let's see if I can find that leverage ETF. So the leverage ETF is METU. So you can short METU, and I think you can short metal, and let's see. And you can long METD. You can buy METD 5095. It's not a lot of range, but you can, low risk, you can make money on when Meta sells down. So always know this leverage ETF. I provide this list in the community as well of all the leverage ETFs. So these were the trades that you could profit on in the morning on the market gap fill, guys. repeatable strategy. It did impact few of our longs like AMD at the open pulled back, NVDA at the open pulled back, so but you take the loss right away, right here, right? So right there you take those losers and you step away. And NVIDIA was a short after that, so, and then it was a short right here and you fade it in the gap. I think I talked about NVIDIA as well. Today I talked about that it's how it's heavy and we were long. That was long was a loser, but you understand overall the matter. We did not let the loser get out of the hand. Amateur candle and the trend candle was bearish. So we were pretty fast managing that trade and getting out. So that was really nice. Let's go to the next one. All right, let's talk about ROKU now. So what was happening on ROKU? ROKU was our number one day 2, day 3 setup. Earnings play day 2, 100 key level. We also had it on a game plan. Trade versus 100. So that was the plan. Plan was pretty clear on ROKU. So let's see what was happening. So we longed ROKU right at the open, amateur move, and we added the dips. It did push if you added right at the open. If I go to the 1 minute, if I go to the 2 minute chart, you will see that we did push, right? We did push towards 102, but then it came back. It came back, 101 entry, broke 100. We lost $2 per share. And that was a loser, right? So that's okay. That's okay because, we did not let the loss get out of the hand. So then what happens when it rejected the 100? When it rejected the 100, you short it. You short it because we are trying to long over 100, but we can short under 100 as well. Short, right? So you see that what I'm saying on 10 a.m., that's a short. First target I gave was 96. It started to curl, but there's a lot of resistance. Again, it failed, and you see how much it flushed. So it flushed all the way to 94. You could literally make $5-6 on the short side. So you have to understand that, change the bias, right? You have to change the bias. And on this, right, if we took a $2 loss, but we could make $3-4 on the short because our stops are right at 100. Our long stops were also at 100. Long did not work. Did the same thing yesterday. It's having so much trouble. If it can't get over 100, that's it. It's going to be short. Look at those two candles. ROKU is just having so much trouble going over 100. So that was a nice trade in the community today. ROKU loser, but the short was a good one. So that was ROKU. So you see that complete guidance there. So next one, we're going to quickly look at Nike. Very easy, repeatable setup. These are all repeatable setups. So Nike, bullish bias on pullbacks. That was the plan. Kim Kardashian had something, and we had a support and a resistance. Daily is still bearish, but when Nike showed me this push over these 50 MTFs, this is a 50 EMA on daily. I have talked about this strategy a lot. And it was a simple long versus 50 EMA. That's it. You see long versus 74.50. What did I say? 74.50. It pulled back. It did not break 74.50. Your risk is 74.50. That's your risk. And you hold it long all the way, all day long. Make nice $2-3 profit. That's all, guys. 50 EMA when breaks out, it's a very simple strategy. It's a power of the MTF clouds. Let's go to the next one. So now we're going to discuss a lot about these morning pop and drops. So next few tickers we're going to discuss is the morning pops and drops and how you can trade the midday setups. Today the action was not really clean. The action was not really clean, and it was giving us a lot of pops and drops, but you had to stop out a few times, but you could trade it again. So let's look at DELL here. So what was DELL going on with the DELL? DELL is pretty strong. DELL and Micron are two, my favorite stocks, DELL and Micron, what great dip buys. Anyways, DELL had a profit target lowered, but it also profit target lowered, but they kept an upgrade rating. So my bias on DELL was bullish. You see that? So DELL, my bias was bullish bias, MTF below, because DELL was gapping up and it was pushing over yesterday highs. That's why I was bullish on DELL. So as soon as market opened, I said DELL long, and you can see that it started to push right away, and if by 10:30 we were at 121. So we can see here where was DELL. It was trading at 118 when I posted that, and it pushed to 121. We were flagging at 121. Now what was happening? It took a long time to break out, guys. Long time. It was flagging, but the flag failed, and then it pulled back. So the flag, so you have to stop out. So basically you have to stop out there. You can't do anything because it's failing. Now comes your midday repeatable setup. What is a midday repeatable setup? This is midday 3450 bounce setup. You long right here because you can draw a trend line, and then you can take it back, because remember 3450 clouds held. If you're adding here, of course you're going to take a loss, but you want the entry closer to the clouds. Closer to the clouds you enter, better the entry, and you can see that how the DELL went right from that 3450 bounce setup. These are all the repeatable setups, guys, that I cover every day in my community and also on previous YouTube videos. So you can simply add here, if you're adding here, let's say you add 500 shares, you're risking $250, but you are at end of the day and making another $700 by the time it pushes here. It was a little choppy. Then you have to stop out here again, or you just have to use the 3450 stops. And this was not a clean trend today, but the stock did go up. If today, remember, we'll talk about some other clean trends like all day runners. Today was choppy, but remember, you could trade this midday setup. So anyways, that was DELL. All right, let's talk about SMCI, right? So SMCI, beautiful winner for us in the community. Let's see here. I was long on SMCI right at the open, and it was not just this morning. Yesterday, if you do not follow our Tenet charts profile, you should follow there. Some nice setups we post on that one. Let me show you here our Tenet charts, Twitter. All right, so let's see here. So yesterday on this is our official chart channel, official Tenet Trade Group chart channel, I posted this SMCI setup, right? What did I say? Hold the 4850 breakout, next leg up, dip by zone, setting up for a post earnings run up long, big breakout over 50, right? All time frames are bullish. And what happened today? I was ready. We had a plan yesterday. SMCI was our top, one of the top day 2, day 3 setup. Day 2, day 3 setup. You can see here support, resistance. I try to put the top plays up here on the day 2 setup. And what happened? As soon as I see strength, I tell everybody to go long. And we were looking good. Our target was 55, and we did hit 55, right? We did hit 55 from the morning longs. But then we rejected. We got back, got out, day trading here. But then we got to reclaim again. Then it double topped. Then you get out again. So you can see that we were long a few times, right? But then comes our midday setup. So in the morning it was choppy. That's fine. Of course, if you're adding here, you will lose, right? So you're adding here, you will lose. You will lose both the trades. But see, when I say long, that was at the open. If you're adding right here, then it's okay because you're risking that and you're going to 55. You can keep your move stops up and then you don't get too much damage. Even when we were long here, you can move your stops up and you don't get damage and you get out as soon as the 512 breaks. We will have some days where the setups are not clean, and today was one of those days. And this was the 512 curl right here, another curl, and then comes the breakout. That's why I told everyone swing can swing as well. I told everybody at 340, and it's right now trading at 58. It's going to be very profitable swing tomorrow. And if you see that what I talked about, if I show you the daily chart, which before and after I showed you yesterday, this was the breakout, and look where it's trading right now, 58. So you need to learn these daily chart setups, guys, to understand how these breakouts work. So beautiful trade, SMCI, pre-market planning, yesterday chart share, live guidance, no BS, no hindsight. Yes, it was a tough trade, but you need to learn to manage these trades sometimes. Small account traders will have issues, but if you're trading the shares, there's no problem getting in and out when you're day trading these. All right, let's look at the PANW. So PANW was another good one in the community today. I noticed a lot of strength in PANW because it was breaking out of the 200 psychological level. So that's why it was my focus. And the whole market was going down and PANW was going up. So I said if market bounces, focus there. And it was fine. It pushed to 206. Then I noticed a huge seller. I told everybody there's a big seller. So if you see this triple top, you get out, right? You get out because the stops are pretty low there. But now comes our midday setup. Again, I'm talking about the midday long setup. Right here, 512 curls, you get long here. If you get long here, your stops are previous low of the candle, long here, previous low of the candle, and then you let it work. And it's actually a nice, good swing as well. Daily chart is beautiful. So this is another example when the trend is not clean, but you get your midday setups. Midday setups, guys, versus the clouds. Look where it's bouncing. Repeatable strategy, guys. It's changed so many lives. Learn it. You don't need to pay me anything to learn it. You don't need to join my community. Just learn it. Focus, give your 100%, and this should work for you. Midday setups, because it never broke 3450. It never broke 3450, so it always has chance to get back up. This is midday 3450 long setup. So next one, let's look at PLTR. So PLTR, in the morning, initially we were long, but then again there was a huge seller at 125. You see that 250k. So that was warning to be careful. And then we got out. Of course, when 512 breaks, we completely get out, and then you can short at 512s. Then you can cover at the MTF clouds, and then comes the curls. This was the long 1127. Was the curls. No short now versus 120 curls. And then you take PLTR long and you keep moving your stops up. Again, midday repeatable setup. Midday repeatable setup. You long here, stops under here, live guidance, no hindsight, and you take it back up. So it's that simple, guys. It's a 34, and you see where it's bouncing, right? It's right bouncing from here. So you see that how the setups work. So another nice winner, midday setups. So it's all about this midday setups. If you cannot trade the morning volatility, sometimes you will get these midday opportunities that you must learn and follow. So that was a PLTR, right? If you were long PLTR, that's fine. Get out, lose, take a loss, then short it here, short here. And, that's what traders were doing. Traders were trading that. In my community, I don't even need to tell the old traders. They are taking those shorts. And, Aramos took decent scalp from clouds to the MTF, right? So you see that, right? How does it's doing here, right? No candle is stopping at 3450. But then comes the long curl. So you could see the mornings, but this was the long setup, midday, repeatable. All right, let's look at some other setups. There was a grab today. I talked about grab yesterday in a tweet as well. Whole Twitter was long on grab, like bullish on grab. One thing I always suggest to everyone, if the whole crowd is saying something, do not, it's a crowded stock. Everybody FOMO'd it up, this bullish, that bullish. Everybody FOMO'd into it, and at the open, it just crapped. It just gap and crapped. We tried one small curl right here later at 10 a.m., which failed for what? Nothing, like 20-cent loss, and just we got out. And then it just crapped. The plan on it was that bullish versus 535, breakout 570, no go under 530. So we basically followed our plan. You can see that, right? So grab, we just followed the plan. There was no long under the pre-market highs. Whole world is bullish. Everybody's bullish. Then, this gets a crowded trade. So that's why I don't like it. Let's go to the next one. All right, let's look at some few other trades. BIDU was our morning setup. Let's look at pre-market planning. The pre-market planning, BIDU was bearish bias to short the pops, and it was short right away. Actually, at the open, you shorted right away, and it did fade to 89, and then it started to curl. Did not really do what I expected it to do. You could short these pops and then just get out. I mean, you had to have a good entry on this one right at the open. As soon as it was showing the weakness, you shorted, just like I gave the plan in the and you shorted. Even if you shorted 91, you made like nothing crazy, a couple of dollars short. You can see that what I said in the pre-market. So this was Baidu. So another one we're going to look here is INTC. INTC was also was long. It was a long setup. I think I shared INTC chart as well. INTC and SMCI were the similar charts, guys, because it was breaking out here. You see that, and there's a gap here, and it's a very bullish chart. It's breaking out of multi-month consolidation. So that's why INTC, because INTC was also one of our watch list plays on that news. Gap fill under 2440, long over it. That was the pre-market planning. So INTC gap fill under 2440, long over it, and that was the planning. I already gave the plan. It's right here. Gap fill under 2440, long over it. When I saw the strength, hold the clouds, it became a long. Right away, it's a long here. I didn't want people to chase. That's why I told them to watch pullbacks. And you see that it did pull back 2510, and then it kept on going. It dipped a little bit to the support, but there's no reason to cut. Somebody wanted to short it. I told them, do not short it. This is a flag and breakout, and it's going to go higher. And there's a gap. I'm going to go higher. You can either swing it. It's going to go towards 30 bucks. And INTC was, it was a really, really nice winner for everyone in the community. So another one in the community was UPST, which was MTF long. You can see that it was just a 1 hour MTF long, 1 hour MTF right here. And if you see that UPST was, let's see here, right here, right? What did I say in the pre-market? Price at 1 hour MTF. So you focus there. I have said again and again and again, because I'm guiding, traders through so many trades, but you need to see which one you focus on. And you can see that UPST was along from that MTFs, went on to run from 85 all the way to 89 bucks. That was another midday, not a midday, it was an all day setup. You could easily make profit with the MTF cloud setup. Beautiful there. AFRM was a failed breakout loser. Let's look at BABA. So BABA was, let's see here, what was BABA? So BABA was nothing, it was a little gap and crap, nothing special there. I do want to look at DKNG, because DKNG was our number one day two setup, number 2 day two setup, DKNG. You see how day two setups work? Number 1 day two setup, and it was just a short. Long, you remember, it's under the cloud, day 2, big run yesterday, short to the MTF, right? And then there was coin. Coin was our number 4 day two setup. MTF rejects and right fade all day. And that's what I mentioned in the pre-market planning. Look here, MTF resistance above, and you just short it, right? So those were the setups today, guys. It looked really choppy and bearish in the morning, but it kind of turned out to be a really nice day, middle of the day. You still need to be patient. If you're new in the community, just be patient, learn the system. The system works, the setup works. You need to master it and spend some time. All right, thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.